right, welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and let's get started with all the queries. Then do keep sending in your queries. The number is flashing on your screen. Don't forget to mention your name, your stock's name, your specific query, and the holding period. And to answer all these queries, today we are joined by Rajesh Agarwal, who's the head of research at AUM Capital, and Lakshmikant Shukla, who's a technical analyst, institutional research at Yes Securities. Hi, gentlemen. Very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. So let's get started with all the queries then. So this first query is coming from Nikhil Sharma, who's writing from Mumbai. He has 22 shares of Pricol at a price of 453 rupees. He's purchased them for the long term. He hasn't mentioned the particular time period, but it's for the long term. So is it worth holding on for the future in terms of wealth management? That's the main query. Rajesh, let me come to you for this one. What do you see on the fundamental side for this one, Pricol?
Good morning, Ankita. Good morning, Kanishka. Good morning, Lakshmikant. As far as Pricol is concerned, I think it's one of the better stocks in the auto ink space and doing very well. Although the equity capital is too small and the volumes are low. But I think for a long-term investor, it's a good pick in the auto ink space. The numbers have been quite satisfactory, I would say, in the last 2-3 quarters. There's the kind of pent-up demand coming up in the next few quarters with GST prices being rationalized. I think these companies are going to do well. It's a hold from a side.
All right, moving on from Pricol to the next counter, which is Neha is writing in from Bangalore. She says she's making 20% profits on Kolte-Patil. Congratulations to you. Please suggest the targets for the next 1 to 3 odd months. Lakshmikant, let me come to you for targets on Kolte-Patil. She's already sitting at a profit of 20%.
Good morning to you all. Kolte-Patil has seen a significant amount of gain after making a bottom near the levels of 2,150. Now it is surpassing its key moving averages of 20 SMA. So we expect that this pullback move would extend further higher. Now from here on, we could see the levels of 2,580 to 2,600 levels. And I think once it will give the breakout of this level, then we will see a further upside move in Kolte-Patil toward the levels of 3,550 to 3,600. So that would be the upcoming target for the next few months.
Lakshmikant, the stock was Kolte-Patil Developers. I guess you're talking about Colgate-Palmolive. Yeah.
Right. Okay. See, Kolte-Patil has formed the base near the levels of 120 days SMA levels with the formation of bullish candle. And after seeing a slight correction toward the levels of 399, it has staged a smart recovery on the upside. So now upcoming resistance is seen near the levels of 500, from where it could witness inverted head and shoulder breakout on the upside. And target of that inverted head and shoulder is coming around the zone of 580 to 600 level. So that would be the huge breakout if it surpasses the levels of 500 in the upcoming sessions, and from where we will see a continuous gain in this stock. Whereas downward support is seen near the levels of 415 until it hold this level, or we will positive, and we expect that once it crosses the level of 500, then it could regain momentum on the upside toward the levels of 580 to 600 zone.
Okay, so that's the view on Kolte-Patil. But moving on to the next query then, this one is a technical query. Lakshmikant, let me come to you. The viewer Satya Veni from Hyderabad, they want your technical advice on CDSL, of which they have 100 shares at a price of 1,790 rupees, and BSE 90 shares at a price of 2,810 rupees. They want to know at what price can they average more quantity, especially given this backdrop that the weekly derivative expiry has changed. BSE will now settle on Thursday. So what are you seeing on the charts for CDSL and BSE?
For CDSL, after 5 days of continuous decline, the stock has formed a bullish engulfing candle on the daily chart in yesterday's sessions. Now we are witnessing follow-through move on the upside. Now immediate hurdle is seen near the levels of 1,545, 550. So that would be the upcoming hurdle for the CDSL. I think once it crosses this level, then after it will be out of wood, and we will see further upside move in this stock toward the levels of 1,700. Whereas this will be positive view will remain intact till it hold up the levels of 1,400. So that is the strong support. So if it able to hold this mentioned support of 1400, then probably it could he will get good amount of return in the upcoming days. Now we talk about PSC Limited. So PSC has seen the recovery, and now we expect that this pullback move could extend higher toward the levels of 2500. That would be where to 20 DMA levels is also coincide. So we expect that from there we could see some sort of consolidation. It will make further it will make further consolidation near the levels of 2500, and then after it will give the breakout on the upside. Then we will see upside move in BSC Limited toward the levels of 2750 to 2800 zone.
All right, with that, it's time for a quick breather. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we continue with your questions. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You tuned into Buy Now Sell Now, where we are getting all your stock-specific questions answered by our experts. Let's get going with all the questions that you've been sending us. This is RG Rao writing from Trichy. He says he's a senior citizen and he's got an IPO of Lotus Developers, and he wants to know if he can sell it to buy NSDL. He couldn't get into that IPO, but what will be the right entry price for NSDL? Then Lakshmikant, let me come to you for this one.
For NSDL, I don't have much data, so I cannot comment on it.
All right. Let me come to you then in that case, Rajesh. What he wants to sell out his Lotus Developers and get into NSDL. What would be your view on the fundamentals for NSDL?
See, we are very bullish on the market-rated stock, despite the fact that they have been wobbly in the recent past due to various news. As far as NSDL is concerned, one can go long on this for a long-term horizon, maybe 2-3 years down the line, they can give good returns. At this point of time, it has 40.49 million customers, active Demat accounts, I would say, with 296 depository participants. And the way things are growing in the capital market segment, especially with the retail participation going up in direct equity and SIP through mutual fund, and the way we have seen new issues coming in every week. So this week also there were 8 new IPOs. And in the second half of FY26, there is a strong lineup of IPOs for which these depository participants are going to gain. So I think it's a good choice to switch from Lotus Developers to NSDL for a long-term horizon. One can buy.
All right, so a good choice to switch from Lotus Developers to NSDL for the long term. But the next question is again, Rajesh, for you. This one is a question from RK Ahuja, who's a long-term investor. He wants to know Nykaa, Syrma SGS or Mazagon, which would be the preferred 2 picks that you have?
See, they are all from 3 different areas, I would say, coming one by one. Nykaa, it's on an online store. Beauty segments are doing well. Apparel is not doing that well. They have opened 80 stores, 80 stores in 80 cities, and numbers have been improving. It's the only online play which has been giving positive numbers from the very beginning, if I have to say. Although the valuation looks on a higher side, but it's a high risk, high return kind of bet. One can go long on this with a target of around 280, 290 in the next 1 year or so. Syrma SGS again is a EMS play, doing very well. The numbers have been pretty good with the PLI scheme and all. I think this company is going to give good returns in the long term. So one can go long in this, maybe 20-25% return in the next 1 year is quite possible. Mazagon last 2 quarters, the numbers have been not that good, but the order book is quite strong, and with the way indigenization of defense and all is going on, I think all the negatives has already been discounted in the price. For a target of maybe 3,200, 3,400 in the next 6 to 9 months, one can go long into this. Based on your risk appetite, you can go long either on Mazagon or Syrma SGS, but if you have a high risk appetite, you can even choose Nykaa.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Nykaa, Syrma and Mazagon talks. Let's move on to the next question. This is Miriala Sai Babu who's writing in from Andhra Pradesh. He says he has 240 shares of BEL at a buying price of 325 and 150 shares of Torrent Power that he's bought it at 1400 for the medium term. He wants to know if he can buy more and possibly for the next 1 year is what he's looking at. Lakshmikant, tell us at what levels can he average in for both BEL and Torrent Power?
See, first I would like to talk about BL. So BL has seen a significant decline, but from last 3 days, it has found some sort of stability near the levels of 350 to 360 zone. So earlier, whenever we talked about, we have suggested the stop loss of 350 for all our viewers. So from there, still it's holding this support of 350. So from here on, we could see a pullback move to extend higher toward the levels of 400. So that would be the upcoming resistance for the BL. Once it give a decisive breakthrough of this level of 400, then we will see further rally in this stock toward the levels of 435 to 440 zone. So I think he can hold this stock with the stop loss of 350. Now talking about Torrent Power, so trend is on the bearish side, and still it is trading below all its key moving averages. And a few days back, it has also broken its previous swing low of 1,270. But in today's session, it has got some strength and now started trading above the same. So some slight pullback could be expected toward the levels of 1,350 to 360 range. But major upside will be unlikely as we are witnessing a stiff resistance during the zone of 1,360 to 1,400 zone. So I think for short-term basis, he can trade in Torrent Power, but for medium-term basis, BL is looking good.
Torrent Power for the short term, and for the medium term, you could look at BEL. But moving on to the next query, then this is coming from Poonam, who's writing in from Punjab. She wants to know, Rajesh, your view on PNC Infra. She has 250 shares at a price of 379 rupees. She wants to know what should she do next? Should she continue to hold or exit and buy into some other stock?
See, although the order book is good, the numbers have been satisfying, but I think the valuations are a little bit stretched at this point of time. It can correct to maybe 280, 285 odd levels in the next few quarters, if not. So it would be prudent to exit at any upside, given maybe around 320, 325 would be a good level to book losses.
So that's the view on PNC Infra. Coming to the next question, this is Indira who's writing in from Chennai. She says she wants to know if she can buy Bajaj Housing Finance at the current levels. Lakshmikant, Bajaj Housing Finance, is it a good bet for the next 1 year? And if yes, then what can be the entry price for this?
The trend is on the downside, and still we see a major resistance near with the levels of 120, where its 100 DMA is placed. So I think some sort of pullback move could be possible, but until we get a conclusive breakout of the levels of 120, we will see range-bound move in this stock. Whereas on the downside, the support is seen near the levels of 105. So that would be the stop loss which I would like to suggest. And as long as it holds this support, we could see a pullback move toward the levels of 120, from where I think he can book the profit.
All right, so that's the view on Bajaj Housing Finance. But the next question is a long-term question. Rajesh, let me come to you for this one. The viewer hasn't given their name, but they want to know which one would be your preferred pick in the textile space. There's been a lot of news flow with respect to US tariffs and GST as well. And, textile is one of the sectors that was hit because of US tariffs. So what do you think? How are the fundamentals looking like for the textile space, and any preferred picks in that space?
See, as you said it right, after tariffs and all, things are a little dark on the entire space. A lot of uncertainties are there. But still, if I have to choose one into the entire space, I will go for Vardhaman Textile. The numbers have been quite good, almost debt-free company, doing very well since so many long years. And still going forward to the prospects looks very good. All the negatives have been discounted and can give very good returns if somebody holds for 2-3 years down the line. I won't be surprised if it crosses 500 in the next 2 years.
Textile is the pick amongst the textile stocks. But with that, it's time for a short break. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we continue with your questions. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You tune in to Buy Now Sell Now with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Kanishka Sarkar. And this is the show where we get all your stock-specific questions answered. The number is flashing on top of your screen. You can keep sending in your questions and we'll get them answered by the experts who have joined us. Let's resume with all the questions then. This one's coming from Narayanan from Bengaluru. He says he would like to know the details on how to invest in an IPO, and kindly let me know, do you really gain on these investments, and a little brief about the IPOs. Now, Rajesh, let me come to you for this one. Now, it depends, of course, on the company that's IPOing, entirely on that. But, a bit of an investment advice or education about IPOs in general, because the first-time investor who wants to get into an IPO, what would be your advice?
See, if you are into a good company, I think IPOs are a very good choice for going for a retail investor, and especially for somebody who is coming for the first time in the market, because they are generally low risk. Of course, if there are good companies. And what I would like to suggest is don't try to just apply for flipping, and go for a horizon of medium to long term, and go for good companies, I would say. Don't go for GMPs, because GMPs are there guiding the IPO investors, but that's the wrong way to go. Sometimes the GMPs are very high for bad companies too. So it's better to look for fundamentals and apply for an IPO. As far as the process is concerned, I think these days almost all the private sector banks or even public sector banks give an option to directly apply IPO through their website. So that would be a good way to start.
So that's how you must look at IPOs. But moving on to the next query then, Rajesh, again, this one is for you. This is Bharatwaj writing from Coimbatore. He has 870 shares of JK Tires at an average price of 290. He wants to know whether he can buy more at the current levels. He intends to hold on to the stock for a period of about 2 to 4 years. And if you suggest against adding more to it, is there any other tire stock that you would like, which is your preferred bit, and the viewer could invest in that one for a period of 2 to 4 years?
Entire tire sector is looking good because of the fact that auto numbers are very exciting, and two, the raw materials have, especially the rubber prices have cooled down. So the pent-up demand is going to go up. Things are looking good for the entire sector as such, and JK is one of the good companies to pay into it. If somebody is looking to diversify in the tire space as such, I think Balkrishna Tire would be a better choice. JK Tire is a good stock. I won't say that's a bad company, but if you want to put extra money or new money into that, you can go for Balkrishna Tires too. That's into highway tires, and you have a diversification of companies in the same sector, by one into passenger vehicle and commercial vehicle tire, and the other into highway tires, and both the sectors are doing very well.
All right, so those are the picks for the tire companies. Tire companies, of course, are on fire today on the back of that upside surprise coming in on the auto dispatch numbers and the cooling of raw material prices. So a good bet as far as tire sector is concerned. But let's move on to the next question. This is coming from Bharti from Hyderabad. She says she wants suggestions of a few mid and small cap ideas for the long term. Again, Rajesh, this one would be for you. Small and mid cap bets. Small and mid caps have been performing very well for the last this session and yesterday's session also. Both mid and small cap, specifically mid cap, was on fire. Do you see this positive momentum to continue? Do you see the valuations have moderated post the correction? Or do you still see a lot of froth in this broader end of the market?
See, it depends on company to company, because there are some pockets where valuation is still stretched, but where there are some good companies which after the correction are trading at a good valuation, I would say. For example, if you look into defense pack as such, Cochin Shipyard would be one of the companies in that space which one can go long on. Corrected from almost 3,000 odd levels to 1,500, 1,600 odd levels. It's one of the largest public sector shipyard in country and derives major part of its revenue from Navy. The current order book is around 22,000 odd crores. and the order book is going to go up. The expectation are too high because order pipeline is good. And they have made a recent tie-up with DP Dry Dockyards World for international orders. So this company looks good of the kind of correction in which it has witnessed. Then you can have some power stocks, like for example, like Calcutta Electric, a CESC or a PCBL in the carbon black space. These are good names for a long-term horizon.
Okay, so those are the preferred picks. But moving on to the next query, then this one is coming from PVN Rao, who's writing in from Hyderabad. Lakshmikant, let me come to you for this one. He wants to know if you could suggest a target price for a slightly longer period, say about a year or two, for Bombay Burmah trading. What are the charts suggesting? Do you think there could be some upside coming in for a medium-term perspective?
This stock has given a horizontal line breakdown below the levels of 1,820, and then after it started moving with the formation of lower tops and lower bottom kind of formation. So overall the structure looks still on the bearish side until we see any decisive move to the levels of 2050. We will remain slight negative for this stock, but when it crosses the levels of 2050, then after it will regain its momentum on the upside, and we will see further upside move in this stock toward the levels of 2300 to 2450. So that would be the next upcoming rally for this stock toward the mentioned levels. While on the downside, the 1690 could act as the stop loss. So as long as it holds this support, if he has already bought it, then keep the stop loss on a closing basis around the levels of 1690 and wait for the movement toward the breakout of the levels of 2000 to 2050. And then after we will see upside move in this Bombay Burmah Trading Corporation Limited.
All right, so that's Bombay Burmah on the charts. Let's move on to the next question then. This one's coming from Sudha. She wants to know the long-term bet for two of these three counters, Anand Rathi, Colgate and Phoenix Mills. Rajesh, let me come to you. Out of these three, she wants to know about any two counters which are the better picks, if at all. What would be your picks? Anand Rathi, Colgate and Phoenix Mills.
Colgate will be the one, I would say. Go along to that. It has seen a massive correction despite the fact that it's one of the best FMCG companies in the country. The return ratios are too good. ROC, ROE on the higher side. Balance sheet is very strong. Debt-free company having a market share, a lion's share of market share. I think this company is good for a long-term horizon. And the other one out of these three would be Phoenix Mills, of course, because of the way things are going on, the construction of malls and all into that. So these two companies would be our pick from out of these three.
All right, so that's the view. Thank you so much, Rajesh, for that, and Lakshmikant as well. That's all the time that we have today for all the queries that our viewers have sent in. On that note, we'll let you go. But here's a quick programming note. Now, the beginning of every month often marks key financial activities, salary credits, bill payments, and planning expenses. But just as we plan for our expenses, it's equally important to plan for our investments as well. Now, to encourage this habit, SBI Mutual Fund, in collaboration with Times Network, is launching a nationwide investor awareness initiative, Bharat Nivesh, Behtar Nivesh, Behtar Kal. Now, this objective of this initiative is to promote the habit of consistent investing among Indians, helping them secure their financial future. As part of the campaign, we are observing the 4th of every month as a monthly reminder to ensure that you start your mutual fund SIP or ensure your existing SIP continues. So go on and set your reminder to invest consistently and stay committed to your goals for the financial well-being of you and your loved ones.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Kanishka and I will take a leave. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere because Markets at Noon is coming up next.